I think you're shaking the camera.
I'm jigging it. So we don't have to move, I just thought I'd do that. Get some camera flair.
Yeah. Let's see what happens if I do this. Oh, look at that. Good morning. Good morning, good morning.
Bright.
Yes, that's good. Oh, happy weekend. Morning, Ann. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I am grand. How are you?
I'm fine. I broke a nail today. It spun pretty low into the pink part of my nail. I didn't really appreciate that.
You still haven't recovered, have
I
you?
haven't. I'm kind of trying to, so I used for years, like 4 years or more maybe, I had my nails done by Chelsea, who was our guest a couple weeks ago, and I did gel polish, and my hands looked beautiful because I avoided all the gross habits that I have around my hands. But because of the pandemic, I stopped doing it, and I realized it was something I could kind of give up, and now my hands look kind of clunky. And I'm just so sad, and my nails are soft, and ugh.
Well, that's because
These are first world problems,
you don't have enough of the essential 8 amino acids your body needs to make.
I don't want to talk about it, Dr. Mary. I'm not eating dead cows or pigs or chickens or turkeys or anything else.
But Marmite.
Then my blood pressure will go through the roof from the sodium. Anyway, Anne, are you a Marmite eater? I'm going to be curious. Now, I can't remember if you like it or not. I think we've talked about it, but I can't remember. Just as a side note, since Anne is the only one we can tell is watching, I made homemade Branston pickle yesterday.
Yes, and it was great.
It's good. It's very good. So, just a little homage to England, or a homage for
Homage,
you.
yes.
All right. So it's Monday. We're back to Metaphor Monday, and we went for a number of walks this weekend. Oh, Anne does like Marmite. I want it to taste like jam, and it sure does not. So I don't love it. Anyway, setting that aside. We went for a bunch of walks this weekend, and we discovered what everybody discovers this time of year.
Yes, we did.
It looks like everything is fine. There's a nice, fresh layer of snow, and so you kind of confidently walk forward. We're North Dakotans. You're a long-time North Dakotan now.
Honorary North Dakotan.
Like, you can just confidently walk.
Not so much.
Except for the bleep ice that lives under the snow. So you're walking along, you're doing your thing, and then you have that, and really almost nothing makes me more, and you don't need to comment on this at all, makes me more instantaneously furious than hidden ice. I mean, I would give up this state for a number of reasons, but that's a big one. That is a big one. Come on. It's the worst. The worst. So, that's the setup for today's conversation.
And don't you all forget it.
I'm a little spicy today. I'm sorry. But the point is that we don't often know what's underneath. It looks like everything is good. On paper, you and I looked great. You didn't physically look very good, but a lot of people don't age well. Look around. So, on paper, we looked happy, because we were never happy.
Yeah.
We were occasionally happy. And you had a great job, and I have a great job, and our boy was launched, and we have this cute little house and this nice little dog, and we had this good-looking relationship, like a beautiful new snow. But underneath was this hidden layer of very, very dangerous ice that wasn't always there.
No, it wasn't.
We had moments of, oh yes, I can confidently walk on this sidewalk. I can see it's been shoveled. I can see the pavement. I know that it's fine. So then for a while you walk along and you think everything's fine. And for a while you would try to quit drinking and everything would be fine. The year before Maz went into rehab, he had a very sudden and unexplained seizure on a Sunday night in the basement. And after that seizure, he was better for a while, because while nobody said to him, how much are you drinking? And when he said, oh, I have like 1 whiskey a day, said, I don't think so. Everyone said, oh, excellent. You were better.
Yeah.
You were very conscious. We were more in tune. You were more present. But sooner or later, you're walking, thinking, oh, amazing. All the ice is gone. I can confidently walk this entire length of walk. And then you hit that hidden patch of ice. And it starts it up.
It just takes your legs right out
all
from under you.
over again. And suddenly all the confidence you had in your normal goes out the window. And you start to do that stupid walk, where you only spread your legs like
Penguin.
this far.
You walk like a penguin.
Yeah, and so maddening, and takes 17 times longer to get where you're trying to go. And your stomach's all knotted, and your shoulders are all up by your ears, and you can't trust any step you take. So, I've talked now for 6 straight minutes, just about. Would you like to chirp in?
Yeah, so the point of this, the metaphor of this is be aware of what's underneath. If you're talking to someone and they look all nice and crisp and snowy on the outside, there might be something lurking beneath that is a danger to them. It could be something that they're trying to hide. It could be something that they desperately want to talk about if the right moment comes along, and you could start that moment by really asking them how they are if you think there's something wrong with someone you know or and care about.
So I kind of have 2 thoughts on that. One, you find me the person who doesn't have ice under the snow. Doesn't have to be an addiction. It might be, that you have spent money unnecessarily, or that your child isn't doing well in school. I mean, ask the parent of any college-age child right now if they're worried about their child, and many, if not most of them, will say yes. 3 in 4 college-age students today are on some kind of antidepressant or anti-anxiety medication, and believe me, this distance learning thing has not made it better.
It's actually made it worse.
Yes, of course it has, because now they're totally isolated. And all of the normal things that they expected to be able to count on in college, think back to when you went to college. 95% of the reason you go to college is for social reasons, and probably to have sex, but so that's a social reason. But you don't really go to college so that you can sit in your apartment or your dorm room or your parents' basement and learn. That's a nice side effect, but that's not why you're going to college.
Oh, Dana Christ.
It's true. It's very true. It's why college is a little bit wasted on 18 to 22-year-olds.
Well, that could be true, actually. Yeah.
But those kids are in trouble. And if you are that parent, you are carrying that burden. That is a piece of the ice that is underneath your very beautiful snowy facade. So it doesn't need to be something like addiction. But I want to meet the person who says to me, nope, underneath my snow is just more snow, and then more snow, and then what do you know? Perfect concrete. No lumps, no tree things that make the sidewalk bumpy, just smooth, beautiful pavement. I don't believe that person exists. I really don't. Because life bangs us up, and we bang up our path along the way. We make bad choices, bad things happen to us.
We stumble.
We
no matter
stumble.
what's there.
I mean, you can get over them. You can overcome them. They can be a piece of your soon-to-be success story, but they absolutely happen. I hid my pregnancy for as long as I possibly could. The greatest thing that happened to me that summer was that I was doing a period outdoor musical and had to wear a corset. You better believe it's miraculous Quindell Val isn't like 2.5 feet tall and has the brain the size of a pea, because I shoved my body into that corset and tied that thing as tight as I could every single night.
Well, I'm glad we ended up with the version you gave birth to.
I am too. I mean, it does sort of help me understand how women in the Victorian era gave birth to regular looking children, because I did it too. So the metaphor is just that idea of we all have ice underneath us, all of us, to some degree, and some of us have old ice that then's got a new layer of rain that froze overnight, and then it's got some ice melt on it, and then some more ice, and then some snow which melts and freezes and turns to, I mean, that's the privilege of living, I guess.
It's also an interesting a segue into the fact if you have something that's bothering you and you hide it, it builds up.
Yeah.
You get more ice on top of more ice, and then it becomes worse.
Yes.
So if you've got something bothering you, the quicker you try and deal with it. And there's no shame in anything. There's no shame in asking for help from anybody. The shame is
hard
not
as it is
doing it.
Yes. Yeah.
I understand that a lot more now, but it's true.
Well, again, I think we're not singular in this, either one of us, but we somehow believed that no one else was going through this, that no one had ever experienced this, despite the fact that, like we had a prohibition era because women's and children's lives were being ruined by men who drank. It was a national prohibition. So for me to have decided, wow, nobody has ever lived with a spouse who drinks too much. I mean, that's just nonsensical. But you're not being sensical in those moments. If you have something that you're ashamed of about yourself, it's hard to come out and say it. I told you the other day that I'm in kind of a funny dark place. My dark place is absolutely self-made. I made a bad choice. I got called to the carpet on it, and I had to retract it. And the bad place I've come to discover is actually just that I'm embarrassed at myself, that I allowed my weaker social media demons to dictate some poor decision making that I made as a professional. Okay, guess what? I've said it. Our little viewership has not gone down. I don't think I'm going to lose my job today. I don't think you're going to leave me. I don't think that people who like me and know me are going to think less of me. I think if they saw the social media posts, they went, that was a poor choice, Dana. And someone called me on it because she cares enough to check in. And she was right, and I had to admit it, and it was embarrassing, and great, there it is.
There you go. You dealt with
There
the
it
problem.
is.
See, you dealt with the problem straight away.
Yes.
That's exactly it.
Yes.
And here's a little side note. So I went into Prairie St. John's on a Thursday. So the next day I started having my first AA meetings, and by Sunday morning I sat there and I thought to myself, well, damn, thank God I'm not alone. And I weirdly started to feel better. Because there were so many other people there that I suddenly met we were all in it together, and I didn't feel alone.
Yep.
And I had been for
Years.
a very long time.
Years. So the second point to this metaphor is the great reminder that most people only show the beautiful snow.
Yeah.
You know that the whole reason we launched our 9-part series almost a year ago, February 1st is the anniversary of that, because we launched it on Dr. Mary's 3rd year soberversary. This year will be the 4-year soberversary. The whole reason...
We just say sobriety date. It's way easier to say, because soberversity isn't actually a word. In case anyone's diving for Google, I've never heard of that word.
Soberversity sounds like a university for sober people. Soberversary. Anyway, the whole reason that we launched it was that so many people in my life...
Could be a song tune.
No, I'm just going to pretend that didn't
See?
get said. So many people in my life started writing to me or calling me and saying, what's going on with you and Maz? Things seem amazing. What's that about? And they were both happy for me and kind of not so happy for me. And I thought, fine. Yes, all that stuff is true. All the amazing is true. And guess what? We walked through a crucible to get to it. And you want to know? You've asked. I'm going to tell you. And we've not looked back.
No.
Nor do we intend to look back. We have guests signed up for Guest Thursday through March. So no end in sight, people. That's it. That's the point for today.
We have a lot of daily dose packing tape too, so we've got to keep
That's extraordinary.
Okay.
Okay. Have an excellent
Have a fantastic
Monday.
day.
Walk
Enjoy
safely.
it and walk safely.
And remember to think of it as the metaphor for life. Whatever is underneath that snow, that's okay too. Carefully navigate it, carefully expose it, and figure out how you can put some anti-ice stuff on it.
Walk like a penguin. They know what they're doing.
Talk to someone and get some help. You will feel so much better. Have a great Monday.
Have a
Bye.
good day. Bye.